Hey everyone, welcome back to WrestlePop.
All right, guys, on the most recent episode of the Kurt Angle show, he talked about his time in the ECW and how he kind of got suckered into it because his friend Shane Douglas kind of roped him in by saying, oh, it's going to be doing your style of wrestling, like Olympic wrestling, but it's going to be like amateur, but kind of like pro wrestling. And he was a little wishy-washy on the whole thing, and I feel like from reading this, it seemed like he was doing some double speak, you know, and some
Yes.
circular kind of speak. And so Kurt was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. So he showed up and was immediately like, things don't look right here. There's a guy holding a kendo stick. There's a guy with like a chair. Things are going on a little weird here. And then it got even more strange.
So I think it's safe to say, guys, he's leaving out a lot of information because back in the day, ECW's locker room had a reputation as very, kind of scary because some guys were like, doing possibly, like drugs and things like that, possibly doing other stuff. And it was basically a ragtag crew, bunch of misfits and stuff like that. So I'm sure when he went there, he saw that. He was like, I'm not really digging this. But then when he actually saw the show, he said, the whole crucifixion thing really turned him off because he's religious and all that kind of stuff. And he was watching the show and thinking, my God, this is not exactly what I do. Like, what is it? Amateur wrestling or
Olympic wrestling.
Olympic wrestling and stuff. And so he was totally turned off. Afterwards, he talked to Paul Heyman about it. Paul Heyman, he denied that he knew exactly what was going to happen here because the crucifixion thing for Kurt Angle was like a big no-no. So Kurt actually told him, dude, you better remove me from the show and stuff like that. And Paul was like, oh, I had no idea they were going to do it. And so Kurt Angle had to threaten a lawsuit. So of course, back in the day, ECW had no money. So Paul Heyman, he backed down. And it's just really interesting because Kurt Angle is hung up on this whole crucifixion thing. Because remember back in the day, WWE, during the Attitude Era, they did the same exact thing, like a crucifixion thing with Undertaker. So I think the real issue was when he went to the locker room and he saw all these misfits and saw the arena compared to the kind of arena WCW was doing or WWE, he realized this is not a place for me because I'm never going to make the same kind of money that I would if I worked like somewhere else.
Yeah, and I find it very funny also that he claims that he didn't know that that's how everything was going to be, and he didn't know how the wrestling industry worked, and that basically the whole crucifixion was just to rile up the fans and have them be either thrilled with you or hate you. And he claims that he just didn't know all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, come on, dude, you knew it. You just didn't want to work with these type of people. All right, guys, that's the video. If you like what we're doing here, definitely check out our other channel, 5 Minute Eats, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.